Azra, hello. Oh gosh, it has been a mad day. I hope that it has been okay for you. I know that you have had a lot of things to do recently, and I hope that they have all been okay, good, and I do hope that you are not stressed or anxious or too tired. Anyway, I can now forget about the rest of the world for a while, and I can happily read some of this for you. Oops, there we go. I think that is the one that came today, isn't it? Yes, this is the one. I am really pleased that it arrived. Very happy. What shall we do? Something about To the Lighthouse. Sorry, this is very bad of me. I should have had it ready. But, gosh, there's so much in this. Right, okay. Let's see. So just at first look, there is philosophical questions, representation and aesthetics. That sounds very technical. I'm sure it is relevant and interesting. Or we have alternatives to plot To the Lighthouse. I think we will go for that. So, if you are looking at the same book, and I hope that you are, I really hope that you are, it is page 129. 129. And I shall make myself comfortable and read it for you. I am sorry about this terrible light, because it makes my face which is not a good face anyway, but it makes it look very, very shiny. I cannot really do anything about that. I can turn it a bit, but I need to see the light. That's better, a bit better. Well, for me anyway, probably not for you. Okay, I now shut up and I read. Alternatives to plot, To the Lighthouse and the Waves. For many readers, one of the more disconcerting characteristics of Woolf's approach to fiction is her apparent lack of interest in incidents, actions, and moral choices. As the philosopher Hintikka, it's a Finnish name. We like Finnish people. But I do not know this man. As the philosopher Hintikka has remarked, her fiction is less concerned with our duties and values, and more with rather basic metaphysical and epistemological themes. It is their lack of interest in duties and values, her novels contrast sharply with the great tradition defined by F.R. Leavis. The Great Tradition was a style of novels that F.R. Leavis, who was a very famous English critic, identified in English literature. Here we go. Leavis's tradition consists of Jane Austen, George Eliot, Henry James, and Joseph Conrad. He's Polish. Yeah. Writers whose mastery of literary form incorporates moral seriousness. Leavis does not define moral seriousness or how it ought to manifest itself, but the novels included in his tradition are characterized by a psychological realism that allows the novelist to create believable characters who are moral agents. As moral agents, they must necessarily make moral choices, albeit choices constrained by their circumstances. This definition applies most clearly to Leavis's criticism of Eliot and James, less so in relation to Austen and Conrad. The pivotal moments of moral reflection and moral choice to be found in Eliot and James are generally absent from Woolf's novels. So too are the choices of marital partner that one finds in courtship narratives, which, in their more elevated forms, are also moral choices about the kind of life the heroine envisages for herself. The climactic moment of Night and Day, chapter 31, is the closest that Woolf comes to the tradition, echoing Dorothea's climactic choice in Eliot's Middlemarch. Lily Briscoe's struggle with the persistent influence of Mrs. Ramsay echoes it more faintly. The obvious difference from earlier novels is that her decision has no obvious consequences for any of the living characters. Woolf, like many of her Bloomsbury contemporaries, was familiar with the work of the philosopher G.E. Moore, 1873 to 1958, and his idea of ethics sheds light on Woolf's approach to moral questions in her novels. In everyday English, ethics denotes the principles of conduct in ordinary life, or some specialized sphere of it. In his Principia Ethica of 1903, Moore defined it rather differently. The distinctive quality of the discipline ethics was not the investigation of human conduct or actions, but the investigation of the term good and its opposite, bad. Clearly, the term good can apply to more than conduct alone. If we are to examine conduct alone in order to clarify our understanding of good, we would achieve only a limited understanding. As we shall see, Woolf's own insistent questioning of common assumptions shares something with Moore's tenacious interest in the definition of terms. An examination of conduct is inadequate because we must distinguish between means to an end and ends in themselves. good actions are merely means to an end. Good is the end in itself. Good actions which are not worthy... Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not very clear. Good actions which are worthy of philosophical attention... Excuse me, I'll try that again. Third time. Good actions are not worthy of philosophical attention because an action which might have a good effect in one particular age and state of society might not have the same effect in another. Moore did not altogether exclude questions of conduct. The 5th chapter of Principia Ethica was entitled Ethics in Relation to Conduct. But, as John Maynard Keynes, he was a very, very famous economist, as John Maynard Keynes recalled in 1938, the Bloomsbury set, it just says Bloomsbury in the text, they were called the Bloomsbury set because they were all people who had similar thoughts and interest. Mostly, exactly like here, people like Virginia Woolf and Keynes and people like that. Sorry, I don't need to interrupt. The Bloomsbury read Moore selectively. It tended to overlook this chapter and to concentrate on the 6th and final chapter, the ideal. In contextualizing Woolf's work, there is a danger of assimilating her to a Bloomsbury with which she was not always sympathetic. We know that Moore influenced many male members of Bloomsbury through their membership at Cambridge of the select intellectual society known as the Apostles. Moore had become a member in 1894. This would not in itself make Moore's work a relevant context for Woolf's, but there is evidence that she soon became acquainted with it. It is likely that the Principia Ethica lay behind her discussions of the nature of good with Clive Bell in March of 1905. It is certain that, at Bell's suggestion, she read the book itself in August 1908. She later depicted Helen Ambrose reading it in The Voyage Out, but she did not name it. But the passage quoted by Richard Dalloway is distinctly Moorean. Oh, Azra, I'm sorry. If you don't mind, I am going to stop. I know I am not reading that very well, and that is not good. There is a lot of new information there for you. I am sure that you can look, I don't know, the footnotes. We call, even though they are not at the foot of the page, they used to be at the foot of the page, but publishers decided it was easier to put them at the back of the book, so they are still called footnotes. The notes are very good, and they will help you look at the people and the subjects and the books that are mentioned, if you are interested, of course. And I'm sure you are interested, because you are an extremely inquisitive and intelligent. I know you're intelligent. I am inquisitive and I cannot think of another word. Sorry, that is how tired I am. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Anyway, you can research if you want, and I will be happy to talk to you about it when I have slept. I think probably that is enough for today. We have so much to read and so many lovely things to talk about. I am really happy, and I hope that you are too. But I think that it is good night from me and from my shiny face. God, it's terrible. Why is my face? That's it. That's more normal. That's my normal face. That is my shiny face. Anyway, I am happy, and I hope you are happy too. Sleep well, and thank you for being my friend. Bye bye.